Gotcha.
Hi everyone, Sarah here from the Paper Cut. We are doing our butterfly craft along today. Definitely let me know if you can hear me because we had some audio issues last time. Now we've been testing, I tested it this morning, and so we should be working. So I want my first comment to come through saying you can hear me. So anyways, do we have any comments, Mom? That they can hear? Okay, so we're going to go down to the table because I think you can hear me. Do we have any comments, Mom? That they can hear? Okay, they can hear. Okay, so sorry about that because now we're having issues with comments. So anyways, we're going to go down to the table. So control.
I did.
Okay. So we're doing this butterfly craft along. Which is a slider card. So it slides up and down like that. This is going to take most of the time, and then you have another kit to do this one. So let's just pull out our slider card, and I'm going to talk about that for a minute. We're going to set our other butterfly one away. The slider card. This is either a pre-cut sheet that looks like this, yours is black, or we have the die. So I'm going to show you how to cut the die yourself, but you do have a pre-cut one. And these are on our sale page. There's a folder that says Slider Craftalong. So anyways, so the slider card, it comes pre-cut with the score. It's cut on 3 sides and then it has 3 scores. Or we have the die that is cuts and then it has the 3 scores. So I'm just going to go on to that and show you that really quick. You can use, now this is a long one, so when you're doing it on your own, you can make it long like this, which makes a little like sleeve, and I'll show you that. Or you can cut just the front of your card, which will just layer on the front. So, which is what I'm going to do. You want to make sure that your score is up and your up to the top and your cut is at the bottom. You're going to turn it over. Now I usually cut templates, so I cut a template that was about 3/4 of an inch, and it can kind of be whatever distance you want it to be. It's just how close you want it to the bottom and the top. So I'm just going to tape it on with a piece of removable tape. I'm going to run that through my die cutter. Now you're not doing this because you already have one that's pre-cut. Do you see any comments, Mom?
Yeah, they're hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, okay.
No crackles,
Okay.
I don't think.
So we're seeing comments too, so that's good. And we're going to get on to the doing in just a minute. But this die, it cuts on all 3 sides, and it's hard to see because when you use the little dies, they don't score as deep, but there are 3 scores on here. So when you fold this, and you can actually work along with your black one right now. And you guys do have a top half circle up here. I'll talk about that in a minute, but for folding, and we're going to do this a couple times, but if you want to follow along, we're folding a valley fold at the very top one, and then the next one is a mountain fold. Now yours will fold a lot easier because you have ours on our bigger machines. And then the bottom one is a valley fold again. So there's our valley, mountain, valley. And that kind of makes the little sliding mechanism that slides up and down. Okay, so that's what you get if you use the die to cut your own. And you, like I said, you can do it just on the front, or you can do it on a bigger, longer sheet, which makes like a little sleeve, and I'll show you that. So we're going to put that aside, and let's start talking about our actual one. Now yours is black, and I do have a black one here, but it's harder for me to do my tutorial on a black one because I can't write with my black Sharpie. So I have a coral color one. So the first thing I did was I took a punch, and it could be a 1-inch punch, a 1 1/8 inch punch, and I just punched out a notch right here. Okay, it's about a half a circle, and I just punched that out. That is, so then when it's for your circle to go up and down in so it doesn't get stuck on this top edge. Or like you could put ribbon in here instead, and then it gives a little room for that ribbon to pull out. So that's what that little notch is for. Now we're going to turn it over. So turn it over, and I'm going to turn my black one over and my coral color one. Now on the inside, you can see when I pull it up, there's white right here. So the inside of the black card is all black. So I did give you a piece that says this, and we are going to turn that upside down and just attach that. So this is what you're seeing, and you want it upside down. So you're going to line it up with your score right here, and you're looking at your words upside down, and you're just going to put tape on it. Now, where I have this distance right here, I could have lowered it, but if I would have, the words would cover it up. So what you're seeing is right through there, and you can see it's, you know, about that high. I think it's about 1 inch and, I don't know, I want to say 1 inch and 3/4. And I could have lowered it if I didn't have a layer right here. But since I have my layer, you want to, you know, kind of be, no, actually, I do have it upside down, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So, but I do have this up a little bit higher because I'm putting words there. So anyways, I'm going to open this back up, open it back up, turn that back over. So you are looking at it upside down, and you're just going to line that up with the score and then centered from right to left. And this is upside down. So I'm going to put tape on that. There we go. Okay, so I'm putting my words upside down. Because if I go and I close this, so go ahead and close it and just kind of pick it up, this is what I'm actually going to be looking at. Okay, so we have that. We're going to turn this back over and go to our folding. So for folding, which I did with the blue one, again, this is your top edge, and I have my score right there, closest to the top edge or closest to your notch. That's a valley. Then I go to my next one, that's a mountain. Then I go to my last one, and that's a valley. So this is your piece that slides up and down, and I call it a little pup tent. So you kind of make a little pup tent out of that little slider mechanism. Okay, so we make a little pup tent there. So let's turn it back over, and I'm babysitting a grand dog, so if you hear a bark, he's seeing people outside, and yeah, he's letting out a little bark, so I just hope it doesn't get too wild. I'm going to go ahead and do that again with my coral one. So for folding, you're going to fold first valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, and again, that makes your little pup tent. And that was on your bumps, or that was on your indented side. Because remember when we talked, the bump is always the inside, the indent is always the outside. So we have that. We're going to go ahead and flip that back over. Now we're going to work with this piece. This is our slider insert, and this actually does come in our slider packages. So our slider packages are a 10 count package, and they have that little slider insert in it, and it also has directions on there. We also do have a multicolor one. This one is not on sale, but all of the solid ones are on sale. The multicolor one has 2 each of 12 colors, and that comes with the little inserts too. So you're looking at your insert. This insert is going to attach to this tape tab. So we line it up with the very bottom edge of this tape tab and centered right to left. And then it should come right up to that top edge of the card. Okay. So we are going to put tape on our tape tab of the black one. We're going to take our little slider, line it up at that bottom edge, and it should meet that top edge up there. So you technically could line it up there if you wanted to at that top edge, and if you just push straight down, it should hit your tape tab. Again, it's very important that you center it from right to left. Okay, so center it from right to left. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine. You're going to put tape on your tape tab. Now you want a narrower tape, because if you use a very wide tape, you'll extend it outside of these perimeters. So you want your tape to be able to stay on that tab. If it's extending off the sides, off the bottom, or above that score, you want to roll it in with your fingers. So you just want your tape to extend from edge to edge, and from the edge right here to the score. If it's extending off, you want to roll that in. So because the black is kind of hard to see on, I am just going to start mine right up at the notch. Make sure you are centered right to left and straight. So I'm just going to start it up there and kind of push it down to my little notch. So now when you pull up and down, when I pull up and down, I should be able to see my words in there. Okay, so what I did was I put tape on my tape tab. I took my slider insert, I set that on there, lining it up at that top edge, brought it down, and it attaches to my tape. Then if I fold it, I can test it. So I can pull up and down on it. Okay, now occasionally you will get that white edge sticking up there, and that really doesn't matter. If it bothers you too much, you can just kind of look at it, you know, and trim that off. But it really doesn't matter, A, because we have it on a white background, and B, that gets covered up by our words. So, but you can test it to make sure it works. Okay, so if it's working, that's great. Turn it back over. Now, I did say in the description you needed a narrow tape. And that is because, I mean, it's A for this tape tab right here, but it's also down these sides. You want a very narrow tape. So I'm using a 1/4 inch tape because you don't want it, you want it as close to this edge as possible. So as close to this edge as possible. And if you get it hanging off, you want to roll it in. So tape down the sides as close to the edge as possible. If I use a wide tape, it gets too close to this sliding mechanism. So that's why you want a very narrow tape, and you want it as close to that edge as possible. I'd rather have it close to that edge where you have to roll it in than close to the center part where it will interfere with the slider. So once you get your tape on there, now people sometimes ask, do I put tape at the bottom? It's not necessary, and sometimes I will take a gift card, and I'll show you, because I think my mom probably has a card that I can show you how to use a gift card inside a slider card. But I'll show you that when we get it closed up. So you don't have to put tape across the bottom. You don't have to put tape right here, because this tape is going to attach here. So this tape right here is going to end up attaching there when we fold it. So now we're just going to take this flap, we're just going to fold it straight up. Here. Now we can take our insert and pull up and down on there. So sometimes I'll take a gift card if I have this on the front of a card, and I'll kind of put it inside, and I'll, you know, lift that up so I can, and then when people slide it up, they not only get a gift card that will pop out, but then they have their message on the inside. So that's why I don't tape all the way on that bottom edge. If I taped on that bottom edge, I wouldn't be able to fit that gift card in there. So it's just kind of cool to put that in there. They pull up, and then wham, there's a gift card in there that they can pull out, plus their message. So we have the base part. Now we can go ahead with some of our other pieces, which we have these two pieces. We have our butterfly. You can pull your little circle out of there. The gems that are in here, there's some black gems in here, and that's for your other card. Otherwise, you have some silver gems and some butterflies. So you can pull your little silver notch out of there, and you can pull out your word layers. And then we will also need our scored card too. So on our little silver notch, we can put tape on half of it. So only put tape on half of your silver notch. Okay, so I have tape on there, and I'm just gonna attach that to our insert. Now, one thing I want to show you is when you attach that, don't stick it up too high, because this is the scored card it's going to fit on, which is fine. But if you're putting it on an envelope, or if you're putting it in an envelope and you're using an A2 envelope, you want to make sure that when everything's attached, that it's not going to slide up past the edge of the envelope. Otherwise, you have to go to the next bigger size envelope. So if you pull your envelope out, that's kind of a good gauge for whether it's going to fit. Mine, I have up too high right now. So yeah, that happens to even me. So I just pull that off carefully, and I put it a little bit lower. All right, now, so this makes a little, like a little pockety type thing, okay, where our die, where I showed you before, you could just have a flat layer, and we could attach this onto the front of a card, where you would cut your insert that pulls up right here, and you would put tape down the two sides and just plop. Now this one you would have to put tape on the bottom, but you can just plunk it on the front of a card, rather than having this little sleeve. So that's up to you. I kind of like the little sleeve, but if you want to just take, when you're making them on your own, you can get 4 out of a 8.5 by 11 instead of 2. If you're using the die, you can just cut it out of this front layer. So we are going to take tape, put it on the back of our little insert, attach that onto the front of a card. Make sure not to get any tape on your half circle, because that's what's going to pull up. So put tape on the back and put that on your scored card. Now sometimes when I'm attaching onto a scored card, I'll open it up just so I'm not fighting the fold of a card. And that should center on there. Okay, and then we can fold our card. And then you still have a place for a message on the inside. But they pull it up and they have a message, and then they open it up, and you could always put a gift card in here too. So now attaching these pieces, so our two little rectangles, those you can just attach together. Now this is our pearl white MirriLava, which is really pretty, and that does come in 8 colors. That's on our sale page too. The sale prices for the slider Craftalong products, those are only good through, I think it says the 22nd, so through Monday. And then I'll take that section down. So anyways, so attach that on there. I'm going to wait to attach my butterflies, just so I can attach those when I get it closed. But what you're going to do now is pull up your slider in the up position. So this is what I consider the up position, because we're going to attach this onto the front, and we don't want it to go any lower than this score. So you're going to pull that to the up position. Because if we had this down and you attached it and you go lower than that score, then it won't move. So if you put it into its up position like this, you make sure that it won't move. Now, where to put the tape? Do I put the tape on the back of here, or do I put the tape on here? It really depends on what you're attaching. This one extends a hair past the outside of the slider mechanism. So we don't want to get taped too close to those edges. So you can either, close it and put tape right here, or you can carefully put tape right here. So that's up to you. I'm just going to put tape on this part, but really it depends on what you are putting on there, because sometimes it may be a die cut piece And then you don't want to put tape on that whole area.
Correct.
Then you want to put it on the back of the die cut. So we're going to pull it up to the up position, and I'm just going to take this and attach it on. So I'm attaching that to the tape, and I only want to go down to the card. I don't want to extend it further, which I can't because it's at a 90-degree angle. So now I'm just going to attach that, use my fingers kind of behind there. Whoops. Question.
Is it the boxer? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not the boxer. Nope, I don't have the boxer here today. But I should bring her one day because she's super cute. But Dodge is super camera shy, so he won't even come over by this equipment. He's too afraid of it. He can bark at strangers. Oh, actually, he's coming over here a little bit. But he can bark at strangers at a distance, but they scare him. So anyways, we have this piece that pulls up and down. Now we're going to attach our word pieces. They are a little bit longer, so you might have to do a little bit of trimming. So you might have to trim your don't look back if you don't want it edge to edge. And then if you want to border around all of them, you'll trim it all the way around. So for ease of just showing you and talking, I am just going to attach them the way I have them, but you can feel free to cut them down so you have borders all the way around. But I did just attach these layers just flat on each other because we do need to pop them up with foam tape. Oh, I'm getting close to time, so I'm going to start speeding up a tiny bit, but we are at the very end of this one. But yeah, I tend to talk. I have about 7 minutes till the next person's on, but I will get off a couple minutes early so then you can have time to refresh. So I have that. So now the very important part about when you're attaching pieces to the front. Like I am kind of overlapping this so you don't see that space there. But you don't want to put tape on this whole thing and stick it down because you'll stick your card shut and then you might have tears. We don't want any tears. And I did just attach this slightly off, so I'm just going to trim it. So when you're attaching this, you want to just use foam tape on the edges and just on the side edges and maybe the bottom edges. So I have to turn that over to look. So it could be on the bottom of the words because those won't interfere with our slider piece. So just be aware of where you're putting it and so you want foam tape, because the foam tape will lift it up and the slider piece will allow it to go up and down. And then you want to only put foam tape, along the bottom edge and the two sides because then they don't interfere with your sliding mechanism. Also, don't overlap this score too much. You can overlap it a little bit, but not too much. So, okay, so we have that. But I waited to put my butterflies on until now because then I can kind of see where everything is. Now, one thing, and I probably need to raise it up a tiny bit more because I'm getting...
Is this kit still available?
I think, this kit is no longer online. I have, I think, 2 of them left, so if you want one, you need to email me, okay? And then the first 2 people that email, Sarah at thepapercut.com. I took them offline because I was getting really close, and I don't have a counter on my website. So anyways, now that it's going up and down, now we can determine where we're going to put our butterflies. Caution though, if you get glue on the Mirri Sparkle, sometimes it takes off a little bit of the finish and it will actually make it a little bit shinier. So just when you're attaching, just make sure you're using a small amount of adhesive. You can probably see it by this well, I don't know if you can see that, but if you put glue too much, you'll see that it actually takes the finish off, depending on your type of glue. I used crystal lacquer or diamond glaze. So there's different glues. So And also don't attach things overlapping these edges to the front of the card. If they are overlapping, make sure your glue is only on that section. Okay, you don't want, like this butterfly right here, I don't want to glue on the whole thing. Now this is our black MirriLava. That's on our sale page also. I'm going to move on just so I can show you the next card. You might not have time to get this one totally done. Actually, you probably won't. Well, okay. So this is our silver MirriLava. So that's on our sale page also. And this layer just attaches to the front of the card. Then we have our butterfly. Now this is our So Silk Black Style, and some inks take longer to dry than others. This is a pigment ink, which it's been drying now for a while, but you still don't want to rub, oh, actually it's pretty good. You don't want to rub your hands across it too much. Optimally, this should have been embossed. So we attach that on there, and then I just attached my butterfly. Now before you attach this black piece, you can either cut your silver ribbon to size, or you can wrap it to the back. So that's up to you. This is a kind of do on your own. I usually give you one that we go through with more detail, and then one that you kind of do on your own. So those are our slider card, our metallic black and white butterfly cards, using our slider die cut. Oh, question.
How much is this project?
This one was $12. I usually try to keep my Craftalongs right about in that range, depending on if they have other stuff with them.
Email address again?
Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, at thepapercut.com. Or you can go to our website and just at the very top there's a link that says email. Now before I leave you, because I'm going to leave you in a minute, my next Craftalong, which they haven't posted yet, is this, but I don't have it online yet either. I'm just giving you a sneak peek. So it's a mini slimline card using our new honeycomb stitched dies and waterfall. So, and you get a choice of the gnome or the cat. So this is not on my website yet, but it will be. And this is the next April Craftalong, which they haven't posted it yet either, but I had it sitting here, so I thought I'll just give you a sneak peek. We do have the new honeycomb stitched dies, though, available on our website under new products. So another question.
What is the paper called that is the circle and the bottom layer?
Oh, this is the brushed silver mirror card. The circle, the bottom layer, brushed silver mirror card. So anyways, thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of